You want me to step down as a volunteer assistant?
Yes, sir, I do, because I have been questioned. I have actually had students ask me why you are still coaching. And I said, he's really not coaching, he's only a volunteer. I'm gonna be frank with you, I'm not lying to you. People are asking me, Chris, and now you have 2 years of probation. And I think our policy on volunteers, there is a
Let's clear something up here real quick.
Okay, all right, let's
I have
get it
2
on.
years probation.
Yes.
Do you know how many times I'm gonna have to report to the probation officer
No,
over
I
the
don't.
course of 2 years?
No, I don't.
Let me tell you, I'm gonna go see her tomorrow morning, and then you know what she says? I won't have to come see her again, because I test out low risk, because that's what I am. I was a harm to one person for a half an hour.
But yet, if you are speaking with us, you seem to have a little bit of anger there to the point where.
If you were being attacked, Dottie,
I'm not attacking you, Chris.
you can say what you want.
If you wanted me to attack you, I can show my Portuguese blood here real quickly.
If we
And I don't think you would.
and
My
if we
husband
go
would say
there,
to
you're
you
not.
don't want to go there.
Yeah, and you're not gonna wanna go there with me.
And
because
I'm not going to go there, and you're
Okay.
not gonna push my buttons to get me there, because I don't believe in doing that. I personally I don't hate you. You're a great guy, you've been nice to me, your family was always nice to me. You made a bad choice in life, Chris.
I agree.
And, when you make a bad choice, we gotta show the public, when you make bad choices, consequences fall. And yes, you are being punished by receiving.
I've already
the
faced
probation.
some consequences.
But still, this is a school board, and we oversee this community, and if we don't show the community that we have to go along with protocol, and when someone does something wrong, we have to try to help them have some kind of a discipline, and if that's what you think not being president is a discipline, then I think you have an issue, because.
You're taking something away from me.
Why? You're a board member, Chris.
No,
I'm a board member.
I agree.
Why
but
do you think board president is more important than I am?
I don't.
Yes, you do.
No.
Oh, yes, you do, because you just said you're taking it away from me.
I preside over this meeting. I will no longer preside over this meeting.
Yes,
That is
you
something
will.
I do.
You do too preside over it. You will too, other than you're controlling it.
I will not preside over the meeting. As president, you preside over the meeting.
So what in those duties will you not do that you can't do without?
I'm not saying I can't.
No, I'm just asking.
I'm just saying
causing
that is taking something away from me.
Well, maybe that's something I've never had and I should have.
Maybe it is.
I mean, we're going in the wrong direction here.
I
You're a
told
board member.
I told you I would consider it.
Okay. But I just want to tell you, we have 2 issues, and I think the board, all of us are in agreement. Those are 2 issues we will address next month, or our next meeting. We are going to request a special meeting tonight with you. We want in 48 hours. We'd like to have a special meeting. We'd like to have this cleared up.
So you're not going to give me time to think about it?
2 days. I
Okay.
think in 2 days you pretty well know what you're going to do tonight. But I think 48 hours is plenty long enough for us to get this cleared up and get it off the table, and let's move forward and clear this situation up and never talk about it again. That's what I want to do.
And then their TV has to promise not to come back. Go to Springfield.
So 48 hours notification for a special meeting would mean the meeting would have to take place at like 10:09 at night by the time an agenda would get set. So
Wednesday or Thursday? What day do you want?
you couldn't really be talking about a special meeting for Wednesday. You'd have to be talking about a special meeting for Thursday.
What day do you have? Thursday?
What did I have in mind?
Yeah.
What today's Monday?
Thursday or
Well-
Wednesday? Wednesday would be at 10 o'clock at night, so let's do it Thursday.
Let's wait till, is Thursday night a good night?
Let me remind the board though.
We have a resolution here requesting that special meeting, if you'd like to see it.
Okay. There are due process timelines as well for,
For special meetings?
no,
Oh,
for what I'm anticipating would be action that the board would want to look at. So I think if I'm understanding the 2 items, that I'm trying to understand the items you're referring to. One would be the resolution.
to approve the resolution and also to ask that he be removed as volunteer football coach.
Okay, so terminate as volunteer football coach.
So you've already made that decision, so you really haven't given me the due process.
Well, we'll give you a diploma.
No, let's go where we're going.
Hey,
I'm
I've made
just
my own
telling-
Well,
decision.
everybody has to consent. to
Everybody's
the
got to vote on
fingerprints.
this, Chris. It's not me. I mean, you
And
got
I've
to have
already
7 votes.
had my fingerprints, Bridget.
But how many years ago was that?
It doesn't
They should be
matter.
done
They haven't
every year.
changed.
It should, volunteers are supposed to be done every year.
If you were gonna mention now,
You have a record.
then you have a record.
I have a misdemeanor. Are you not gonna hire anybody here that has a misdemeanor?
That depends on what the misdemeanor is for.
Yeah, you're gonna micromanage. Never mind.
Whoa,
we gotta
see, this is
Check
the
everybody.
reason this is all coming out, because we got, you.
I'm going, no,
heard it right now.
no, I'm gonna make this easy for you. I will resign my presidency effective immediately. I enjoy coaching the football team. You guys are gonna have to fire me. And if that's what you wanna do, so be it. I know where you stand morally. You made a decision, you will be giving the person that destroyed my life what he wanted, and that's where I understand where you stand morally. So, Bill, I believe it's your turn to.
So we'll entertain a motion to accept his resignation.
You guys just lost a great board president.
Is anyone gonna make that motion to accept it?
So that,
So I,
Matt Burns?
we can't take any motions,
think
we
you can
can't take any motions
on
right
that
now,
one.
there's no action items on the
There is no
agenda.
So
action.
what does
That's
that
not
do?
intended.
You can't take any votes because you don't have an action item on the
Yep,
agenda
can't take it.
for that.
They'll have to take the next
So
one.
Dottie, did you hear that? We can't take any action. We'd have to have a special meeting or wait till next month.
we've got a special meeting with 3 signatures for Thursday.
Who's the signatures?
Not signatures. What you really are saying is that 3 board members are requesting a special board meeting, which that's the requirement by board policy. The concern, and I will say this again, is that if the action item on that board meeting is to employment or volunteer termination, I really need to advise to make sure that you give me adequate time to make sure that due process does not need to be afforded for that, because whatever actions you may take, if that is not followed, those actions will not stick. So what I would advise is that it sounds like you want a special board meeting, 3 board members want that we need adequate time for me to review that. I will begin reviewing that in the morning to make sure, but from my understanding right now is that due process would have to be afforded, and those things take time. So turning around a meeting within, by Thursday, if due process has to get afforded, does not allow enough time for that to take place. So my response would be, in order for that to take place, you probably want me to review that, to send out a communication to the board, to let them know what the timelines really look like.
That'd be
What
fine.
date do you need?
I need tomorrow morning to be able to talk to legal counsel to make sure whether or not due process has to be afforded or not, for sure, 100%. And that will take place in the morning to be able to do that. I'm not calling him tonight. And then I would send out a communication. Upon sending that communication, then we would need an agenda to be set, posted. You need 48 hours notification for that. So you could be looking as early as Thursday.
So where does the board stand right now? Who are the officers of the board? Is there official resignation?
Well,
or unofficial?
We can't accept that officially.
Well,
We
you know, the
can't
board,
vote on that.
I'd have to review that. The board, by board policy, doesn't accept resignations anymore of employees. Resignations are considered tendered immediately, effective to the superintendent when it deals with employees. So if we were using that baseline, it would be considered immediately, and there's no accepting of resignations. However, this is an elected official position, so I don't know is the proper answer here. One would have to presume that it would immediately take into effect and it would begin starting right now. That's the assumption. But that would be part of my second part of my phone call tomorrow.
I don't have anything on the agenda. I don't have an agenda, but what would be next on the agenda?
Next on the agenda, I think we had added
School board.
10.7.
Reduction of officers, 10.9.
Oh, I had asked about that. Recently, originally we had a policy 2110 that determined that board election officers of the president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, these officers would be elected and appointed by the board at its organizational meeting. The board election officers now stand, you can have either a 1-year term or a 2-year term. I don't think we necessarily need a change in policy, but I'd like for us to consider having 1-year term officers. And I'd like discussion amongst the board.
I think the best way to do that is whenever this term supposedly expires, or we can set it for April or whatever you want to do.
I say do it the month that normally you would have elections.
Make that motion that when we would put it on the board agenda in March, at the April meeting, we'll have election of officers, and then you can make that, you can do that.
You shortening your term.
Okay,
Well,
so
yeah, you can't, that's not legal.
you can't shorten the term that's currently exists, so.
Could you get an opinion on that, though?
I
Yeah,
got the
when we
opinion.
elected last time, they didn't specify whether it was 1 year or 2 years.
Okay, so what you could do is you could do a specification of the current term if that's a concern. What you're really looking to do is to make sure the policy either says 1 or 2.
It says 1 or
Specific.
2 now.
But you're looking to make sure that it says 1?
No, I like to leave that term in there because we wouldn't have to change the policy, but we have the right to choose the 1 year.
But, yeah, by simple motion that, right. by
All we
sim-
have to do is
The motion
identify.
that's made establishes the terms of that, because I feel like I'm waiting for somebody to ask me what my recommendation for that is. My recommendation clearly is, if you start going to terms of 1 year, it's the anticipation that you're gonna have turnover. Turnover is dysfunctional in organizations, whether it's a board or it's an organization. My recommendation is you would not do that. You would actually change the board policy to specifically to say 2 years, so you don't end up with any type of misconception of is it 1 year or is it 2 year by way of motion. I think that what the IASB would indicate to you guys and what I would indicate is that what you want is consistency through the organization. You want to try to prevent having consistent turnover that might take place in positions of this. It's hard enough to run a board meeting as the board president and understand the dynamics of it. To have that turnover potentially every year, it
Yet,
could
yet
cause some
somebody
dynamic.
you put somebody in and think, well, that's really not, he's not doing a real good job as president, I'd like to try somebody else. I mean, we're stuck with him at least for 2 years. I don't
Yeah.
see that
I
1 year
think
would
1 year is a lot better.
I don't see
because
1 year would be bad.
Sometimes we can get stale in position.
Unfortunately, not afforded a vote, so I can only provide the recommendation.
I mean,
So-
I entertain information from all the board members.
Let's bring it up at our policy
Special
open
meeting.
session discussion for that, if that's okay with everybody.
Yeah, that's fine. No problem.
Is there any, what's the next item on the agenda?
Adjourn.
Well, before that, I have 2 news items that I need to present. The Illinois Association of School Boards has a division of all the counties between Jacksonville and Champaign, Bloomington, and Litchfield. And that's the 8 Lincoln Division, which we are a member of. And I just started my term as chairman of all those school boards in that division. There is a meeting which all school board members are encouraged to attend. It's a dinner meeting, by the way, October 7th at Shields. And you should be getting a letter from the IASB, or if the board office gets it, you can send it out the portal. And I encourage you all to attend because that's my meeting that time. I get to run that one, so. That, and the second one on the news item I have is I'm the past delegate of I'm the current delegate of the Capital Area Vocational Center. And everything is staying the same, except the nursing program is growing by leaps and bounds. And I'd like to step down from that position at this time. So I will appoint someone if they don't volunteer next meeting. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Adjourn. Everyone's got to sign this. Everyone's got to sign this.